All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Sport webinar. Today's date is January 13th, 2018. This is a Saturday morning webinar, and the title of today's webinar is Trading the First 30 to 45 Minutes versus the next 30 to 45 minutes. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we might have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems, should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do a little recap first off, just real quick. Some people probably weren't in the webinar on last Monday. So one thing I want to make sure everybody does is that first off, you do draw on your charts. It is very critical to draw on your charts. Bear with me a second. My sound's low. Let's see here just a second. Well, it shows it's at 86%. I'll bring it up. That's at 100% now. Is that okay? Is that better? And I'll go ahead and bring it closer to my mouth too. That's weird. Ever since GoToWebinar had that first sound problem with the beeps, everybody says my sound's low occasionally. I know Charles's is really loud sometimes. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and go over this. Drawing on your charts is very critical. You can tell when there are minor trend changes. You can tell when there are more, your medium trend changes. Draw your little wedges, for instance. Use your predictors. Draw your regions, your lines, your trend lines, and even your channels as far as that goes. And always make sure you do know what the minor trend, secondary trend, medium trend, and longer term trend are. But keep in mind, you're not trading a longer term trend. Okay, we're trading actually more this secondary trend and these medium trends. Okay, and even against them sometimes. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning is when you can trade against the trend. We got a lot of questions on Friday, for instance, why are you going along with, like a red background? Well, because it works. I mean, that's what we're going to talk about this morning, the first 30 to 45 minutes of trading, okay? All right, so you probably got this already, basically memorized or, where you can pause it or anything like that. So I'll go ahead and take it down. And then let's go ahead and go to another chart. Now this next chart is what you want to do is you want to make sure that you remember this, because I was told this years and years ago when I started trading futures. Opening of markets is always governed by price action. Okay? Do not be biased at opens. If you're biased at the open, you're going to a lot of times go the wrong direction, or you're going to sit there like a deer in the headlights and you won't get a good trade. Okay? Because you can still have red backgrounds and bars and still watch for long trades. Okay? You can also have green backgrounds and even blue or yellow bars, and this would also include yellow bars up here in the red, and still watch for shorts, can't you? And remember, there are 4 trends on your charts and you can trade them all. Okay? And also remember this too. Markets like to run, one direction during like a European session and then do either pullbacks or possibly even total trend changes when we get our market opens. Okay? That's why it's very important, don't be biased. This part right here is just absolutely critical to opens of the market. Okay, and be ready to change your direction on a dime. To give an example, let me show you. Well, we'll have to go a little bit later because I've actually got a replay going. So I'll show you a little bit later on it, but let's go ahead and look at the charts now. Now I've got 5 charts up right now, and I have already set up, let me just show you here, Time Trader, which you're going to get, very, very shortly. I'm waiting on one little fix, but I can't seem to get my programmer to get it done. let's see, you notice the sound got low after you changed one of the settings in GoToWebinar when trying to fix the beeping. Yeah, but there's not really any settings in audio other than just the, just the normal settings, and they're all set correctly. Okay, but let me show you real quick what you're going to be getting with your new time trader that's coming out very shortly. Let's go to strategy. I'm going to go ahead and take this one off for just a second, and then we're going to put it back on. All right. Now we're in replay mode because I want to show you some of this, how this is going to actually work. All right. First off, when you do time trader, you need to actually go up here to zone parameters. Let me just open this up a little bit more so you can see it pretty easily. Okay. These zone parameters, and you set the date, you set the time you want it to start, you set the duration of time you want it to run, and you can't overlap them. Okay, that's going to be extremely critical. You cannot overlap them. I may have him put in the code possibly to watch these 8 zones to make sure there are no overlapping. Otherwise, it'll come up with a notice to you or something. But that may be down the road too. Okay, so I've got 2 times set on here. Now, one thing I get a question on quite often is, why do I have double stealths? It is really important to make sure that your settings on stealth are the same as you have on your charts. Now, I keep mine at 4 range. 4 range on predictor, 4 range on stealth. Okay? Because if you don't have those set like that, the way Ninja strategies work, they always default to 1 minute. So you want to make sure that you have these set on 4. Okay? So if you want, anybody wants to do this, if they've got market replay to give an example, let's just go ahead and do this. We're doing this in replay mode. Okay, and to start time trader, of course, you just simply go to time trade, something like that. And we want to make sure we put maybe a few contracts, like say 3. Okay, now these are all set for time trader right now. This is the 5 charts that we actually trade. Notice why we can't do time trader in the room or object trader. See how much it takes. There's very little room for pricing. This is the best way to watch it like that, obviously, right? Okay, so that's why we don't use, object trader in the room. It just takes up too much of the chart. Maybe with Ninja 8, when it actually self-sizes itself and everything, we'll do that. But for now we just can't. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch the first few minutes. This is about 7:40. This is about time that you want to start really kind of watching your charts. I've got it on 8 times. Let's just let it do its thing. All right. Now you're going to notice let's just leave it over here. At 7:59, time trader will actually, after 1 bar closes, it will go ahead and draw a box. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Now notice even on NQ, you're heading down. Doesn't mean you can't take some of these other trades, because that was a perfect yellow bar probe trade just then. Okay, but what you got to watch is the open, like oil, to give an example. There's a lot of traders come in the room and start trading oil. At the market open at 8:31 and 2, there's traders that come in. That's why they move those markets so briskly, is because there's just a lot of people that trade. And opens of markets are good and critical. Okay, we're 10 minutes away still. Let's just let it go ahead and do its thing. Let's see, do you have to enter the time for time trader for each chart? Well, you could save it as 1 and then just make sure you remove old time traders, or pardon me, old object traders from your chart. And if you put a new one on, it will remember the default. Okay, here's 7:51. This is pretty much when we start getting ready to trade, isn't it? Let's just watch it. 7:52. I've got it going a little faster. I'm going to slow it down when it gets to 7:57 or so, just so that we can see it in more like real time. There's 7:55-ish. Yep. This is going like 8 seconds at a time right now is what it's actually doing. We'll just let it do its thing. And then I'm going to slow it down. One, two, three. Okay, we'll slow it down. Now it's counting by seconds right now. Now keep in mind with the new time trader, you're going to have to actually wait for it to hit the time and a bar has to close. It does not just pull the box. Now that bar closed on gold. Okay, that's why that green box came up. The green box just came up on YM and NQ, not on Russell yet, not on oil. Okay, NQ's already in a trade. All right, let's just see what happens here. And by the way, once you get in a trade, you can actually turn off this reverse and everything if you want to, because, for instance, I like to kind of stretch my little region to make sure that I don't get faked into a trade. When I first get in, I've been kind of playing around with this quite a bit. Now notice that oil hasn't even gotten in just yet. That bar hadn't even closed. Once the bar closes, you'll see the green box. Let's just let it do its thing. Now that's a touch plus 0. I like to actually do like a touch plus 1. Let's do a touch plus 1. Even. There we go. All right, notice Russell's not even in a trade yet. Now gold is short. Will it work? We'll find out. See how oil isn't even in a trade just yet? Oil is on you're right. Thank you. Thank you. It has closed in, hasn't it? It'll pop it up if it has. Let's go ahead and we're in the trade on oil, right? Let's see if it works. And by the way, if you want to leave these on, for instance, let's just move our stop out of the way and go ahead and put this on like reverse. This one's not in a trade yet. And let's get this out of the way. We don't need our time right now. Let's go ahead and do a reverse on this one too, and we'll get this out of the way. And we'll do a reverse on this one too, but it hadn't gotten in a trade just yet. Okay, now notice I can't even see really what's going on as far as pricing or anything like that because Object Trader's not able to show that. So you'd really have to pretty much go to this deal right here, like so, and see where you're kind of at right now. Okay, that's what it's going to be if you do like 3 contracts to give an example. Okay, we just went long on crude, flipped. You can actually get one of your targets out of the way if you want to, obviously. Look to the left to trade the right. Like that swing right across there is where I'd probably be going for. Something like that. See, even though Time Trader kicks it in, you don't necessarily have to, just take a 5, a 7, and an 8 or something like that if you don't want to. You can actually trade this thing, the way we teach it, but just use Time Trader to get in the trade. Like get one out of the way, get one up here, get one up here, see where that swing is right across there. And then just let it do its thing. Notice how we've already gotten pretty much a move on NQ. So where are we sitting at now with Time Trader? Well, we've got 95, 120, and 50. Okay, there's another one just kicked in. It just that was YM, and then CL is see, that's doing pretty well, isn't it? Okay, now if you saw this happening in real time, couldn't you just go like this and say flatten everything? I mean, that's pretty decent coin. Okay, and naturally, if you were trading 5, you've really got to manage this thing too. Okay, you've really got to manage it because, for instance, if let's say that I'm trying to watch 5 charts, I don't want this all of a sudden to start disappearing on me. Okay, See how Time Trader just did that? Okay, that's kind of the deal that Greg likes to do, and some of our other people, Kenneth and some of our other people, really like to do these type of trades because they do work. You can actually, for instance, just real quickly get a chart, get your targets out of the way, kind of watch to the side, draw your lines on your chart. Trying to do 5 is probably pretty difficult. I'd probably take one contract off right in through there, and then just let this thing run. But look what you're at. Now, granted, that was 15 contracts between 5 charts. Okay, that's not what most of us, most of the people in the room are going to be doing. Most of our members are not going to be doing that. But what I'm trying to show you here is that notice NQ had been going down almost all night. Okay, but what did it do at the open of oil? It actually flipped, didn't it? Now, we'd want to go ahead and bring our stop up, obviously. And that's going to be one of the kickers on trading. If you ever trade like 5 charts, you got to naturally keep your stops and everything. This one, we're just going to let it flip if it does take out that. Or you could simply, if it closes inside there, close the trade out and then wait for it to do something again. See, because that didn't go down and that's still an uptrend. So if I was trading this one, I would probably, if that bar closed inside, I would close this one out. Okay. And then since we didn't make money on this one on time, I'd probably do like a trend line. Okay, but let's just leave it alone, just like we weren't even managing it. Okay, we're still up 3, 5-ish. What are we at totally? Let's look. We're at 955. Okay. Now, what about some of those accounts though that, for instance, let's say that you had I don't know, one of those combines or something like that where you can trade a few more contracts. Would something like this actually work out for somebody? Because couldn't you click the button that just says, whoa, I'm already up $900 for the morning, done? Or even go over here and right click and do flatten everything. See, that's what you actually, when you're trading first thing in the morning, that's why a lot of our people get to a certain point and then they're just flat done. They're done for the morning. And, you have to, as a trader, decide where that figure is. Now, if we were just doing this one chart alone, we'd only be up about $150 probably, maybe 100 and something. Well, actually, it's up to 245. Sorry about that. It does show the chart. Okay, so Russell's doing quite well. And by the way, you don't even have to let them tag your target. You could even turn on like a bar close. Just go out of like one of them if it happens to close down. That way, you could ride a bar close all the way up if you wanted to. This thing could literally just go up, 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 right? You never know where it's going to stop. You can also use trend lines. And if you wanted to just literally get out of that trade, you certainly could too, just by doing this. And see if that goes touch plus, let's just do touch plus 2. When they shoot up like that, a lot of times I like to just either get out or get out of at least 2 of my contracts. Because when they shoot up like that, where do they always come back to? Right? There's 2 areas that they would, matter of fact, let's draw the line. Can't go any lower than this on a pullback. Could go here, and it could go right across there. Everybody see that? Truss, little truss, retrace, little support levels. That's what you do is you draw on your charts. Now, could you hit close on everything now? Sure you could. Okay. Keep in mind, if you ever do like all 5 charts, you probably want to do like some of our guys do. And that would be just simply, when you hit the figure you want, just click the close button. Because you're going to give some of it back. You can absolutely count on it. See how oil's coming back a little bit? See, we expect it to hit its head right here on top of that line right there. Okay. How many of you trade more like this at the open? Is your quantity setting max of 3? No, Chris, I've got mine actually set at 10. But the reason for that is, let's just go ahead and close this out because I want to just talk now. I'm going to flatten everything. So you can flatten everything with Object Trader just like that. And then if you looked at this, you'd see you were up $1,430. Now, did this go up more? Yes, it did. But this is also what we're trying to teach too, is, you know, when you get nicely to where you want to be, let's say you had a $500 goal, that's 2.5 times that, or almost 3. So could you actually get out and just not do anything for the rest of the day? Sure. And that's where it comes in important to watch your time, because right now, see, it's only 8:08 in the morning and you're done in 10 minutes. Isn't that unreal? 10, 15 minutes. Okay. But you can trade more if you want to. But, you know, after you get a thrust, don't you usually get a retrace? That's what you're looking for, right? I don't know if anybody remembers Russell yesterday, but we called this in the room. I actually did because Charles wasn't in yet. He doesn't get in until 8:30. But does anybody remember this trade yesterday on Russell? It actually shot up like a bird. And then what did it do? It pulled all the way back down. And I want to show you something here that you can take to the bank on pullbacks. Let me just show you here. If they're going to continue up, we'll go ahead and remove these, except for the very bottom one. See this thrust, retrace, thrust? If this is going to head up, let's just go into fast speed, 500 times. What's this right here? See there? See how it missed hitting that one? See there, it missed it again. So what direction do you think this thing is heading when it does that? Thrust? Okay, first thrust, retrace, thrust, and then it gets a higher low. And remember, we even talked about this yesterday in the room. Once you get these lows, you can trade this. See that predictor right there? You can trade this predictor here. See it? And you take your coin up at the top, take your coin up here, take your coin up here, and just go for, you know, good trades. The one thing I think that most people miss out on the most is that they don't realize when they're still in an uptrend or still in a downtrend. And I think that happens to even some seasoned traders, because, you know, you can definitely trade both sides, like in that chop and everything like that. But keep in mind, the overall trend on that chart on Russell was up. It wasn't down. Okay. And this is something I taught myself a long time ago, was to see this, you know, in real time. And we've got tools that'll draw it, but I like to draw it kind of manually sometimes too, because that thrust on Russell literally was not quite up to here. Okay. But then look where it pulled all the way back down to. But if you were watching that, isn't that a higher low once that takes off? And that's where so many people get on the wrong side of a trade. Now, could you short this and try to get some little scalps and stuff? Yes, but I would recommend, when you're in a trend, I would watch for these little bottoms and then buy them. See, like right through here, you know, especially when predictor says to. There's a 10-tick trade. There's more than a 10-tick trade. There's a 10-tick trade. Everybody see that? Okay. Now we're talking about more or less what you do when it gets to a certain time of the day. In today's webinar, we're not even at that time yet, by the way. Okay. What do y'all, most of y'all do when it the clock basically hits around 9:10 in the morning? You know, because around 9:10 in the morning, you know, or even sometimes just shortly after the open of the market, you start getting this chop, and you've got to learn how to trade it, you know, or just totally stay out of it. Okay, let's just see if this one right here. What do you think? You want to try to take it? What says the team? You want to try it, or you want to wait on it? Well, let's do a little box in then. Let's do a little box in just for the fun of it. We're in replay mode again. I'm going to watch this for like a little reversal. You've got 3 right there, right? Let's just see what this does here. I'm going to watch for lightning. Let's just do a look to the left to trade the right. It took this swing out a little bit right here. And you've got a swing right here that they haven't checked. Yeah, they've checked it twice. And one thing you want to be careful of is don't catch a falling knife, because this could be changing trends. We're sideways. But I still see it as an uptrend, okay? So far, because you're getting higher lows and higher highs. Okay, let's box this in. We're going to go out of like 1, 2, 3. It may come down a little bit lower, and if it does, we'll go ahead and do it too. Let's do close, because this is a little bit touchier. Okay. Let's see if we can get a trade. I don't really see anything to the left except right through here. That is a line too. So let's see. Well, that kind of bounced up. Let's see if we get something. See if we get something. And we're going to do more scalping right now, and let's do 4, but we're going to do strictly a scalp if it does it. We'll go for 10 ticks. Okay, there's our little entry. See if we get 10 ticks. See how I did that just on like a little 1, 2, 3, but I kept moving my box down with the price. Wow, this is slow. Let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit. Until this gets out of this range, or we start getting higher lows, which we are starting to get, by the way, but we don't know for sure we're getting that yet. Okay, there's a trade. All right, let's see if we can get another one. And by the way, while it's in sideways like this, we can actually try to trade it both ways. All right, let's draw our line up here. Let's do another region. I need a region. Hurry up. There we go. I missed it. Well, got it late, but we're still 10 ticks. Let's see if we get it. See how it came right to that top? This is more the way you're trading after you get those first initial thrusts, you know, especially when you're literally just going sideways right now. See if we can get 10 ticks. Or we'll get stopped out, one or the other. Everybody see this? How you can do this on sideways stuff? Why are we short here? Because we're in a sideways channel, Katat. On your question, we're totally sideways. Sell the top, buy the bottom. Now watch. If we bounce at all, because you're sideways, you've already checked here, you haven't checked here. Let's go a little 1, 2, 3 reversal if we get 3 candles. That was actually, I'd like to do it a little bit sooner than that, but anyway, there you are. There's 10. Let's see if we can get 10. Like I said, we're just sideways. Now, since we're in 4 here, you want to be more scalpy, but this could actually also run. You could keep moving your target out of the way if you wanted to. But keep in mind that, well, basically you've got resistance right up here, so you could move it above here just in case. You could always take 2 off manually, you know, something like that, and then just ride it. Okay, let's see what it does up here. If it comes back down, we'll go ahead and short it. But if it doesn't, if it takes this out, we'll stick with our long. Let's see if we're going to get anything. Nope, nope, I'm turning that off now. See how it took it out? Took out the top. So we are actually getting more of a little trend change now. Okay, that's more the way you trade this. And keep in mind, these predictors are really, really good, because let's say, for instance, that you just simply had gotten this trade that I called in the room on Friday morning. We had this boxed in. Everybody should remember that. It was right in, well, matter of fact, there it is. See the box? Box would have been filled right there. Okay, but at the open, you had a green, a good scalp. You could get out on lightning. A green right here that probably didn't work out. This green did. No green, green again, and green again. So there are definitely some trades in through here that you could for sure take if you just simply use this little region on those 1, 2, 3 reversals, and then keep moving the box as it's going down. You know, for instance, you're trying to get down to support when you're in these sideways stuff like this, and just kind of move your box accordingly. Now that this has actually changed, what do you think? This looks to me like it's a good thrust up. You want to see if we can add to it at all? Man, I think we just missed it. It's right here. Did they hit it? They haven't actually hit it yet. Let's draw 2 lines. I'm going to try to add. If it just takes off, we won't add. But if it comes back and kisses, we'll add. Right on top of that swing. Only if it comes down, we'll add 2. Now, when you do start breaking out of a range, you're trading a little bit more like the open now. Okay? Because what the whole deal is right now, what did they do? They chopped around, you know, for about the first 30 minutes or so. And now we're actually breaking out of support and resistance. Here's our little line. See if we can get it. There we go. We just added 2. Came right down to support. If y'all remember on Friday, I do believe we called that trade 2 right here, or had the stops in. I'm pretty sure we just had our stop in on our Russell. Anybody see where the next trade is on this chart already? Draw your lines on your charts and you will see it. Okay, if we thrust up above here, for instance, like right here, I'm going to be looking for a trade in a little sweet spot like this. The reason for that is because they don't always come back and kiss, but most times they do. Just like here, see, they missed it just a little bit, just a tick or so. That's why I usually turn on Object Trader for a 2. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can get another trade. We're not going to do anything until it breaks. If it breaks, let's see if it does. Let's speed it up. Okay, it broke. Everybody see that? There's support right there. All right, we're in 4, so let's take 2 off. But I'm going to see if we can add those same 2 again by simply going for 2 ticks for a kiss trade. We're doing touch plus 2, trying to get down to here. If we miss it, we miss it. It's no big deal. I don't like to buy them unless they at least get close to these swings. Speed it up just a little bit so we can see if we can get it. May not get it. It may just bounce out of there, and that's fine if it does. That's close. Now there's another way you can do this too. See this little 1, 2, 3 right here? We didn't. Oh, we did it. We didn't turn this one on. That's all right. Everybody sees why that didn't do that, because the bottom of the box, not the top. Okay, so we're fine. Okay, now another quick question. Where's the next trade on this chart? Anybody? Because this does work, I can tell you that. See, we've already tested this one. We need to test here. I'll even put it here just in case it decides to. Okay, we got our extra 2. Everybody see that? Stealth's another good way too. Absolutely, stealth's a good way. But the only thing about stealth is you also have to break stealth to get another stealth. You want to try it? We did break it, so let's just try. We'll kill it and we'll see if we can get a trade on stealth. Stealth, this doesn't matter, by the way. It's not a box or a region or anything like that. Stealth is just stealth. See how stealth is broken? We just got a stealth trade. Okay? See what I'm talking about on stealth? Right here. Okay? You want to see if we can get another one? I would love to actually automate this, because this particular way of trading just flat works. You would have bought between stealth and predictor. You can do that. Yeah, Adam, what Adam's talking about, keep in mind we've got a lot of tools on here too. You could do this. You could do a wedge. You would have bought here, right? And just get your targets out of the way. But the same question comes in. Where's the next trade? Anybody? Because it usually does work. If it quits working, then you've got to be concerned about why it's quitting working, because you may be running out of gusto. Okay? Let's see if we can get one more. What about lightning trade? You can do a lightning trade. You want to see if we get a lightning red? It's got to go red, though, before we get a lightning trade. That almost did. It didn't close. May not get it because it just came on top of here. Everybody see it? Within a tick. So it's going up again. No lightning trade. See how that also wouldn't add a stealth trade either? Because it never broke it. It's got to close below stealth to actually break that line. We'll have to probably slow this down a little bit. Let's see if we can pick our next trade. There was another one, by the way. We're still in 2. We're okay. Now, if this looks like a pretty good thrust to me, what if they break micro? We don't know if they're going to yet, but I can see they're trying. Anytime you start seeing this more consolidation, instead of just retrace, pop, pull back a little bit, and then break, this is where I start looking when they start doing this right here. If they're topping out like this, if they break micro, they'll go down and check medium. So what you do as a trader is you make sure that you draw your lines on your charts. That's your medium swing right there at 15.95.10, isn't it? So if we head up, what do you think it's going to do? It's going to hold that swing. If it doesn't hold that swing, then we're not heading up any longer. Everybody see that? Let's see if we can just trade this thing even after the room. Well, this is when the room closed right here. So let's see if we can keep trading it. That was a monster move. Still heading up so far. It broke our, so you're still stair stepping. We did get our add-on with lightning. Now when they start doing this right here, just like I like to personally do in the room, you want to draw you a trend line underneath here. Even if you don't use the wedge, use your trend line at least to watch it. And if stealth is really heading up like that, you can usually back it off just a little bit. Let me get it at the right angle first. Let's go under our lows like that, and then we'll back it off just a little bit. See how it kept the angle? And that's kind of a line 6 actually. Okay, we got 4 in, so if we do take wedge out, we'll take 2 off. There's micro right there. Everybody see where micro is? If they break micro, they're going down to medium. Haven't broken it yet. In a room to usually take these, well, Franco, on your question, what we do in that room is we draw on our charts and we tell people, you know, right where to look for a good trade entry, for instance, just like I'm doing on this chart right now. Because everything that's done in trading, by the way, is pretty much done on stair stepping. Okay, just like this has been stair stepping literally the entire time. See these stair steps? Stair steps. Every single one of these is higher lows and higher highs until they're not. Now it looks to me like they might possibly pull back here. Oh, I didn't want to short that. I had that on reverse entry. I didn't really want to short that right there. So I'm going to kill it because I just wanted out of 2 of my targets, 2 of my contracts. You don't really want to short just on a micro break. Okay. Now, could you take your trade off the table? Yes, you could. Could this actually still head up some more? Yes, it could. You want to try to see if we can get in it? We'll do a region. We'll draw it. We'll size it. We'll just use the top of it. Looks like a touch +2. And let's see if we can get a region to the upside. We'll see. Okay, now let's look to the left, trade the right. It's already checked here, right? It has not checked here, right? It has not checked here. Matter of fact, I think we're already 2 above it, so we're not going to get it unless that bips down. But that's perfectly on a support level that I personally like. Because see, it hadn't checked it. If you look to the left to trade the right, you see that they've checked here. They haven't checked here. See how they missed it over here? They're now checking it. Now, does this mean that, you know, we couldn't possibly start breaking down a little bit right now? Well, it looks like we might. As a matter of fact, we may have gotten on the wrong side. We're going to find out here in just a second. We're going to find out in just a second. We know they've already checked here, though. Okay? They've checked here. They haven't checked here. Let's see if they wick it or if they take us out. We'll find out. If they close below that, I'm going to close this because we're going to go to medium. Yep, I'm closing it. Now, the reason I'm closing it is because when they break micro, they're going to go down and check medium. So let's look and see if we can get in this thing again one more time. This is after the room, by the way, so we're treading on territory that we didn't trade, you know, unless you traded after the room closed, because this is right at 12 minutes after we closed the room. Okay, so let's see if we can trade this again. Okay, thrust, retrace, thrust. It's a little sloppy through here, but this is your high, this is your low. Okay, that's basically a thrust. So they cannot take out 1595.10. Okay, let's see if we can get in a 1, 2, 3 again. We'll put it about mid-band like that. Now don't catch a falling knife though. Keep in mind, if I just literally hit 2 contracts here like that, I may actually get stopped out. That's not what you really want to do. You want to wait for, at least a bar to close. Even if you're a tight, aggressive trader, above that one. But see how this is coming down a little bit more? Let's see if we can get a real three bar or a box. Now remember, we can't take this out or we're no longer heading up. Let's see if we can get this. There's a box. There's a box. Whoop, got to turn this on. There we're in. Everybody see how you do the box? Now, of course, you could come back just in case they decide to take that little swing out right there. Okay? Everybody see how I boxed that in real time? Because you don't want to just catch a falling knife, because you could actually get into a situation where that thing could actually change directions on you. Okay? But not until they break what I consider to be your secondary swings. When they break micro, they come down and they check these medium swings. Okay? And if you draw on your charts, let's just kill this trade. We don't really care about the trade as much as teaching. Okay? We trade in the mornings. But let's just look at this chart. And let's get rid of everything on it. And I want everybody to kind of follow this, okay? We're going to draw on our chart. Didn't we thrust up here like this? And didn't we pull back like this? And then didn't we get another thrust up? And didn't we get another pull down? And then we got another bigger thrust up. Everybody see it? And then we got a pull down again. And then we got another big thrust. This is a little bit small. When you're barely taking these little areas like that, what we're talking about is drawing more secondary swings. But then where did they break micro? Now let's draw micro on here, and I want to show you something. Let's draw it from here. We talk about 4 trends on the charts, right? Very important to watch all 4 trends. I want to show you a little picture that I've got here, okay? Lightning 2 trending up, right? Lightning 1 was trending up until it took out this swing right here. Everybody see that? But it barely did, evidently, so it probably just wicked it and then took off again. That's what they do. Trend 3 is up. This is off a real chart. Okay? So, but if you look at all 4 trends, when did this one get broken? And even if you go for secondary, which is here, it still got broken. Everybody see that? Micro, secondary. But this swing is what I consider to be more of a medium swing. Higher low. That's why when you're trading even like this right here, and you're watching this, squeeze it up like that. Is that a downtrend? No. Plus, when you did this earlier this morning, remember? Not this morning, but Friday morning, you had this huge thrust up before you ever opened the room, and you had this pullback. Okay, once you start getting these higher lows like this and you break a lightning swing, we actually boxed this in the room because this was actually the open of the market. You can still clearly see the little box. But if you draw on your charts or even watch it in your mind even, this is what you want to do. And then when this does this, that's not lower than that. And when this does this, that's not higher than that, so this doesn't even count yet, does it? When did this swing actually count on the larger move? You want to see when? pretty much when it did this, when it took out the top at least. You know, when you took it up, say something even like up in here where you took out the tops, okay? Because that's a higher low, and then all of a sudden you start getting higher lows, higher highs, and you got this monster move. We also got this move right here because we know how to trade this. Now, if you decide that you want to short this right here, you can, because that's breaking a minor swing. If they break micro, they go down and check medium. Now, this is only when they're trending. Don't do this in chop because they'll eat your lunch. But for instance, if you were trending and you can see to the left that you have blue sky, then this trade right here, could you short this on a separate chart? The answer is yes. But keep in mind that you're just going for scalps. The more important trade is the one we took, which is with higher lows. See your higher low right there? You boxed it in. Okay. But does this mean you want to try it just in real time and see? I'm going to short that if it takes out that swing right there with there it is. See it? Taking it out. Now it's broken what I call micro. So it should go medium. So you had a thrust, retrace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want it to take out this swing right here to continue going up. Okay? But notice that I just shorted this because it took out my micro. Let's see if we get a trade. Now, when it comes down, if it boxes, for instance, with like a 1, 2, 3 back up or lightning, then we got to be careful because we could bounce right here. But we've broken micro, we've broken secondary, we're checking medium. If we break this, they're no longer heading up. And by the way, if you see, well, we already got it. Now, if they break this one right here, which is actually what I consider a little bit more of a medium swing, could you actually box this? So we'll take it either way. Let's just see what it does. We've got third candle back. We'll do a region. Got to get my insert key. And I didn't want it at the bottom, so that's not fair. I want to do it like this. And I'm going to do well, we're going to do a close, but that's okay. Okay, we broke out of our little box here. We got our stop up here at the top. We might get stopped out on this one, we'll find out. There's resistance. Just checking it. See, my little red stealth also formed on here too. You know, these might not be such bad trades actually after all, huh? Okay. Now notice that, well, we got a red bar now. Okay, what would this take to actually break what I consider to be the secondary medium swing? Well, you had a thrust, retrace, thrust. So this is what I consider to be like a secondary medium swing. This is your first one up here when you take out medium. See this one right here? That's pretty much where this is starting to head down. And you're getting below midband. And as far as that goes, if you even boxed it in here, you know, let's say, for instance, they just broke a little box. See it right there? Could you actually short this trade? Yes. Now, we don't know, for instance, if we're going to take this medium swing out right here. Your thrust, retrace, big thrust. But could you also already be short? We teach this trade in our webinars. This is actually a box in trade at midband. Because even when we boxed in here, you don't know for sure if it's just going up again or if it's going down. So you can actually turn both those on. But in this case, I would not have taken this one if it would have gone down. You know why? Because your swing was right here. They would have had to broken this swing at 95 for this trade. Let me go back and show you that. Show you why. Let's get rid of everything on the chart. We'll get rid of lightning. Why don't you get rid of lightning? There you go. Okay. Let's look at this one. What I personally like to do is watch these swings as they're made. Okay, that's why we draw on these charts in the room. See your thrust, your retrace, your thrust. So isn't that a swing right there? See how that got that higher low? That's why we took a long. If they would have broken this one here, pardon me, could you have been looking for very possibly a short if it broke down and came back and kissed and rolled over? And the answer is yes. Can you take a breakout here if it broke it? Yes. But what's our rule of thumb on breakouts? If it goes our direction and stays our direction. So right here, for instance, if you boxed it, it did break and it stayed broken. Okay. Now, it didn't if you boxed it here. That's the one thing you got to watch on this is micro lightning. See how you had little lightnings, lightning, lightning? Technically, you should have boxed it right there and right there, and then you would have gotten that box. Looks like an Elliott wave. Actually, you know, the one thing about the way they trade these things, yeah, you can pretty much watch for, they've been going up like crazy on these things. Okay, there's where, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's a huge bunch of Elliots. Okay, one of our targets is here. I'm going to go ahead and add, if this breaks below this little box here, let's just turn on bar close. Oh, we already missed it. Maybe not. It didn't close up, didn't close down just yet. And we're going to put our stop just above the swing. Everybody see how we caught that? And also keep in mind too, here's how you caught it also. Remember this trend line that we drew over here? Under those lows and then backed it off a little bit? It broke it. This little trend line right here. Back it off a little bit. They broke it. They broke micro up here, didn't they? So that's why some of our people are actually taking these trades like this, you know, or even on stealth. Stealth actually would have gotten you in here too. I know Suresh and some of them like to do that trade right there, especially if it's red above mid-band, because you get these 10-tick trades. Now usually you get one of your targets out of the way, and we'll go for a bar close again. Let's see. I think region box and bar close are the coolest tools. I agree with that. I like them too. Because the one thing about it is that you can get some good trades. Now you want to see if we can trade this. This looks like this is breaking down pretty good, don't you think? Okay, you want to see if we can get a retrace and see if we can get in the trade based on the way we teach it, and then I'll wrap. This is what I'm talking about though, of trading the first 30 minutes. Don't worry about and be biased on the trend when that market first starts, but also be very careful because you want to get out of a trade quickly if you do go against the trend, like out of a time box or something like that. Oh, this thing's really heading down. Now, if you were to take any kind of a long down here, I would highly recommend doing it. You know, for instance, like if it took out the lightning like it just did right here, if you're going to do like a counter trend trade. But where do you think this trade's going to more than likely hit its head? Well, you got a predictor right there. You got a swing right here that they haven't checked. You got mid-band they haven't checked. But let's see, let's just pretend you walked in your computer and this is what it's doing right now. What do we want to do with this trade? Anybody? It looks to me like it's rolling over a little bit. See it? See there? It's rolling over a little bit. Going a little bit sideways now. Let's just watch our predictor and let's see what happens. That was a huge move down, wasn't it? Look to the left to trade the right. That's not far enough down yet. They haven't broken this enough yet. Everybody see that? That doesn't mean you go long there. If you go long there, I do it on a separate chart because we're still looking for shorts. That's a lower high, by the way. You want to box it just for the fun of it? Let's do a little 1, 2, 3 reversal if we get a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Whoop, can't get it. Get it moved. Get it moved. So we had a bar down. We're going to try for a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Now I really want this up here, but see how this kissed resistance right here and just wicked it? If it goes up higher, we'll go ahead and bring our 1, 2, 3 higher. Now keep in mind, this is actually selling a thrust. This could be a little risky, but I would want it here for sure at 97.30. But if it's holding resistance right there, it's holding that resistance. So would I possibly take that trade right there? If it broke stealth, to give an example, you could do that. Let's see, did we break stealth? Yep. Let's try a stealth trade instead. Stealth's been heading down, it broke it. Could also draw a trend line on it. I'd box it right there, actually. See it right here. We got stealth turned on, but let's just see if it breaks the box first. I'm going to do 2 if it breaks the box and 1 on stealth. It broke the box. Stealth just added 2. See how I did that? Now, I'd tighten the stop pretty quick just in case this is nothing but a double or triple bottom. And pop our little stop right up here. Already hit a target. And turned into, looks like it's going to be a decent trade. Everybody see how we did that right there? You can do this over and over. You want to see if we can get something else? Let's just pretend we didn't walk into our computer now. We're not buying it. We're not selling a thrust. And we're going to wait for a little retrace. Keep in mind, we got to get a retrace first, right? Let's see if we can get one. Where's retrace going? Well, let's draw some lines. It already went there. Predictor. And we're waiting to see if we can get something. Now, will it go to predictor? We don't know. Should have gotten it right here. I saw that after it happened, but anyway, we'll wait. We got to wait for, unfortunately, for another pullback. See if we can get one. Okay, let's draw on our charts. We got mid-band. We got a swing right across here. Thrust, retrace, thrust. Looking to the left, trade the right. Let's see if we can get this one. What says the team? What do you think? If it breaks this little swing right here, I already got it. We're too late. But anyway, I took it anyway because it broke that swing right there. And there's again another trade. Everybody see that? Every time they retrace, whether they're going up or down, they're going to do the micro thing. Now let's draw this one real quick, and then we are going to wrap. Let's draw this. Let's see where this thing could possibly change directions. So far, and no direction changing. Did this break across here? See your little thrust retrace? This swing was never identified. See how it never closed below the swing to the left? So this little swing here, was it lower than this one up here? The answer is yes, right? So here's what you're doing right now. You're doing this little deal. Well, let's draw it with lightning too. It'll draw with lightning too. Okay, let's get rid of this. And we'll get rid of this. See how I drew it right where I did anyway? Okay, so you had a thrust down, you had a retrace, okay? You had a thrust down again. This is your identified swing right up here, right here, but I always move it back if it's real close like that. Then it broke again, okay? Is this swing identified? The answer is no, it never took out the swing to the left. So you draw your line here, but keep in mind that you're not putting your stop that tight. Now, if it does break the swing to the left, that is your identified swing. When will this one become identified? When it breaks the swing to the left. When will this swing become identified? When it breaks the swing to the left. See here? See how that's your identified swing? Is this along yet? Anybody? This is a quick test. They've not really broken, have they? High, low, lower, high, a little like that, right? So that's still heading down, not up. So that's our identified swing. Could you get ready to short this trade? Anybody? There's your answer. Everybody see that? That's what you want to get in the habit of doing. And when people say, well, how big is lightning? Well, you don't know until it draws it. You've got to keep up with what lightning is really, really, really doing. Okay. When is this going to change very possibly back to the other side? Well, we don't know yet, but until it starts taking swings out, we're not doing anything different. Everybody see that? Now, when will this change directions? Just real quick. I don't know if it did. It's getting close to the end of the market. We'll run it to the end of the market. Let's just kill the trade. We don't care. All right, we have a swing here. High, low. That's identified, right? This one's not identified here, but this one is to the left. See it? Okay. So if this was going to change trends at all, what do we want it to do? Well, so far you've got another short, you got this short. We're not caring about this. I want to see if this will change trends. I want to see if y'all can catch it, if it does. That's starting to. Now that just took that out right there. What do you think? Could you have boxed this in at mid-band? Is this any longer heading down? The answer is no. It looks like it's starting to head up actually to me. And when could you tell it did? Well, it had to pretty much take this out first. Okay. Then once it takes this out, you can start boxing at mid-band. Okay. Could we box at mid-band again here? What do you think? Let's just try it. Well, we just boxed it. See it taking out that little wick? Let's try it. I'm going to put my stop nice and tight just in case. But see why I took that? You're bottoming out. You took out your swing that was identified. And technically over here, when you start looking to the right, you've got a thrust, retrace, thrust. It took out this swing. Thrust again, it even took out this swing. So this was starting to head up. But looking on the left side, you weren't really heading up until they take this out. And they did take it out right here. And you look for the mid-band tide. Now, if you want to really take this trade, the best way to do is wait for a thrust and a pullback. And that will happen probably on Sunday night. Everybody see that? Now, keep in mind that from now on, when you get in the market, okay, don't pay so much attention to what's been going on, because look at this on YM to give an example. See, they took that out over here. That was your secondary medium swing overnight, okay? But when did they start actually starting to tell you that this was going to be a trend change? Remember, we boxed this in and we took the trade. Remember this even in the room on Friday? I don't think I've got the template on it so you don't see the box, but the box. And when you start getting a thrust, retrace, is that low, lower than that one? So why would you be looking for anything but longs? Low, high, higher high. See that? Higher lows. That's why when you're stair stepping up like this to begin with, you want to be watching your trades, because as this is actually stair stepping up and everything, when did this really start changing trends? Well, you had a high, you had basically a double top and boxing in at mid band like we teach. Okay. You could have taken that trade, but would you have taken that trade? No, because you still had a low that was kind of established right here, right? But they did take it out here. So could you have boxed in here? And you actually could have, and we got a little trade, okay? But notice that this swing actually held, and you could have even boxed this in and taken even the long, okay? And that's really the way you trade this. Just watch for those higher lows and higher highs. Watch all 4 trends. It's really important to know what these are doing and draw on your charts. Even if you don't draw on your charts, you've got to at least, see the lines in your mind, even if you don't draw on it. Because to give an example, is this a higher low than this one? And the answer is yes. So are they really taking this thing down until they actually even take that out, and they never took it out? So each time, they did take this out, but was this identified? No, not on what we call the 4th trend. So technically, this has been nothing but an uptrend, even with that red background. This would have been a little bit more fun to trade, I would think, but keep in mind you could have boxed. You could have boxed here and got a quick trade, boxed here and got a quick trade, boxed here and got a quick trade, boxed here and got a, just right around mid-band. Nice. How would you trade this one in real time? Just like we taught a little bit ago. You just watch it, the lightning, you start boxing. Start boxing again. And there's your entry. Everybody see that? You just keep boxing. At the time, you don't know, for instance. And if you don't want to get wicked into trades, back them up just a little bit. You'll find that that works quite often. When we get faked into a trade, it's usually on one stinking bar. So, for instance, if you box this, like in real time, knowing that this was an uptrend, let's say that you boxed it like this, like so, then couldn't you have said, you know what? I'm going to at least make it go into this resistance or something, like above that box. See what I mean? Like, in other words, don't just wick it, and it never did. And then you just simply bring your box down, just like I showed you how to do your region, where you can move it in real time. And you could even put this one, say, you know what, I'm going to at least go into this set of candles here with the close of a bar, and then you got you a trade. That way you're not basically taking a wick like this where they just barely close and then they pull it right back in your face. And you can also watch for this too. And that is your trend lines. Come on. Like that. And when it's breaking the trend line, you can box it too. Okay? Let's do this on Monday. We'll call some trades and everything, and we'll see what we can do every day. Thanks everyone for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I ran it about 15 minutes over. Let's see, what is more important, the break of a micro swing or the ABC retrace? Carl G, on your question. Well, keep in mind, if you take a minor swing, just like I like to teach all the time, is don't let it come back against you. Because, you know, if you put like 4 contracts on, or 2 even, and you let it go out of the box and then all the way under your stop, you're going to get nailed too often. And you don't really know what size the box is going to be until they do a little lightening to begin with. And that's when that'll change. Okay, thanks everyone. We'll see you on Monday. We are opening on Monday, yes. Yeah, we'll be open on Monday. Even though it's Martin Luther King, we're going to go ahead and open. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you on Monday. Let's see, Bruce, could you answer my email question regarding... Bruce, are you still here? Are you still in the room? I'll answer that now. You're still in? Okay, let me show you what you probably did. Okay, let's say that you get in Object Trader, okay, and you're saying you're seeing 2 stop lines, right? That you're seeing 2 stop lines. Okay, so what's happening is you're using exit on close. Let me just show you here real quick. We don't know what direction this went. Let's see. Kind of at a double top, so to speak, right now. Don't you think? Well, let's just fire one for the fun of it. I'll just put a buy in. All right. See that stop right there? That's just a single stop. That's with your broker. Okay, but if you use exit on close, this is your stop with the broker, but this is a stop with the break of the line. Okay, so in other words, if you're long, I'll just show you this in real time. If this closes below this line, this will fire a market order at your broker. But if you lost internet connection, this is your actual stop. Let me show you. Let's get rid of everything but active orders. And let's go ahead and look at your stops. Okay, notice how you have, let me get rid of, we're on YM, right? Oh, we must have a Russell on, that's all right. All right, see where your stop's at 25,771, see here? But your stop is also here, but nobody out there trading knows that stop's there, because this stop is based on a line break. If you lost internet connection though, this stop lags it however far you have it back. Let me show you how that's set. If you go to strategies, go to your catastrophic stop, see where this says catastrophic stop 15 ticks? Well, you can set that for 10 if you want to, and then it'll just lag at 10 ticks instead. Okay, but the catastrophic stop is the one that's at your broker. This stop is here. Let me just see if I can make this close. If this closes below this, this is not at your broker at all, but it will still fire the trade out. Let's see if it will. I'm going to just back it up each time and see if we can get rid of it. If it closes below, it'll fire a market order and get you out of the trade. See, if that closes, that should kill my trade. There you go. See there? Now that stop was not at your broker at all, so nobody knew your stop was that tight. That's the beauty of exit on close. Exit on close will put 2 stops on your chart, but one of them is real, and the other one's a line that Object Trader draws that you put your stop at, and then it uses it as a break. That's a cool stop. A lot of our people really like that. The only thing is, be careful. My son was trading that one day, you know, with his live account and everything, and he had his catastrophic stop down 12 ticks, and he lost internet connection. Well, when he lost internet connection, this stop, let me just draw it again. This stop was not at his broker, it was this stop. So what happened is, by the time he got to his broker even, it had already tagged the 12 tick stop. He had his set on 12, I think, at that time. So, got to remember, this is not at your broker, this one is. Okay? But this one will trigger if you just simply close below it. Let me get rid of my target. See, if it closes below it, it'll close the trade out without hitting this one. And on a long, it just has to close below it, and on a short, it has to close above it. See if it'll do it again. speed it up just a little bit, see if we can get it. Oh, that was after the market closed. Never mind. We're not getting anything. It's done. No, it's still going. Oh, market open again. Just a second. Let's see if it'll close it. See how you can literally trail that stop? There you go. See, it just took it out, but it didn't take that one out. That's one of my favorite things, is that exit on close. But again, be careful, because the other stop is actually physically down 12 or 15 ticks, whatever you have it set for. Okay. Also, real quick, I know I ran 20 minutes over now, but let me just show everybody one other thing. Everything that you can always wanted to know about Object Trader but were afraid to ask can be found on your member site. We'll go ahead and go there. All right, I'm on the member site, members area. Scroll down. Object Trader Video Training Manual, A to Z. This is a video ebook. Just click on it, and this will walk you through everything to do with Object Trader. Stops, you can go down here. Object types are obviously a bunch of them. I'll scroll down. There's targets and stop, trail box. Let's see. Say your stop, moving on the fly, using the break even, using exit on close. There you go, video. Okay, that's using exit on close on any kind of trade. All right, thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. We try to give you the absolute best scripts and also the best training. Thanks, and have a great day.